In this video, I am going to share with you 6 investment rules that you must know before you start playing this real estate investment game. What are those 6 rules? Not know? Stick around. Rule number 1, buy a property with both income and growth. You need a mixture of income and growth. Why? Because if you are just looking for a growth, if you are buying a property which you think that it is going to go up for a longer term, but there is not much income, then it is very difficult for you to sustain that property. At one point of time, you will have a cash flow issue and then you will be forced to sell that property. On the other hand, if you look for only income, which is a substantial income that you are getting, but because you are not getting growth, remember that real estate investment, particularly residential real estate, there are a lot of expenses that you have. Those expenses, once you deduct these, even though you have a higher income, you are not moving ahead. It's not to do something substantial things in that property. So you need both what I call a mixture of income as well as growth. So you need to make sure that your income is about 5-6% gross rent, and at the same time you are also getting a growth which is about 5-7% yearly, and that combination of income and growth is going to make you a substantial profit, a substantial return from that property. So that is the rule number 1. You need to buy properties which is a mixture of income and growth. I always look for a property which is an income about 5-6 or even 7% return, the gross rental return, and at the same time I look for a property which will have about 5-7% growth as well. How do you measure this growth? Because it depends on where you're buying, what do you see that is going to happen, what is the projection. There are quite a few things that you can calculate. Based on that, you can see that the property will be going about 5-7% return per year for that property. The second rule, which is must, it is so important, that is you should always buy a problem and sell a solution. If you look for a problem properties, then there are not many people who are looking for those properties. So you would be able to negotiate better, you would be able to work something on that property, you can do something on that property, you can change something on the property. So buying a problem and then turn that problem into a solution and then sell the solutions to another investor or to somebody who do not have time to buy that problem and sell the solution. So buying a problem and selling a solutions is one of the biggest way, one of the easiest way to make money in real estate. And that's the rule. If you see most of the people who are actually earning money through real estate, they buy problem and then sell solution. If you look for a solution property, which is like a brand new apartment, or if you look for something which is a brand new townhouse or house and land package, then you would not be able to make much money, because that is a solution that you are buying and someone else actually solved that problem, in this case the builder or somebody who actually did this, and then you would be actually seeing that you are losing money over a period of time because the house is going to deteriorate over time. Whereas if you buy a problem and then turn the problem into solution, it doesn't have to be done immediately, you can do it later, and that's how you make money in real estate. So that's the rule number 2, and that's the game that most people understand who actually makes money through real estate. Rule number 3, you have to minimize your cost and expenses. What do you mean by that? In real estate, particularly residential real estate, when you buy a property, then there are a lot of expenses, right? For example, you need to pay, if you are managing through a real estate property manager, then you have to pay them 6 or 7 or 8% of the rental that they collect. There are a lot of other expenses that is there. So you need to minimize, you need to shop around, you need to find out, okay, who is the property manager who is giving me a better rate. If you took a loan from the bank, what's the interest rate, how you can refinance that in over a period of time and get that a better interest rate. Or if you are using an accountant, what kind of account, what service do they provide, are they charging exorbitantly, is there a way that you can reduce that, is there some of the work that you can do so that it is actually easy for an accountant to do the things and it is they are taking less time, as a result they are charging you less. Or if you got something that needs to be fixed in the house, are you taking multiple quotes and then comparing and seeing that which one is the optimal that you are going with? So all this cost actually matters a lot. So you need to make sure that you are working towards the minimizing of your cost, minimizing your expenses, so that it gives you better return, so your income becomes more. If you are someone is like, do not bother, what the property manager is doing or what kind of interest rate that you are paying, and you are okay to have a negative gearing property, then probably you actually missing out how much you want to earn money from that property, and probably you don't have much goal of becoming a financial independent, and you are not focusing the maximum return. So that is rule number 3. You have to minimize your expenses and you have to minimize your cost, so that you get the maximum return. And rule number 4 is to increase your income by providing services. What service you can provide? If you have already bought a property and it is a rental property, you have a tenant, you need to make sure that what service you can add on so that you can charge a better rent. Sometimes the tenant is ready to pay even $50 more if you give them 1 or 2 service that they are asking for. Maybe they need a dishwasher, maybe they need a extra clothes line, or maybe one of the room they want to paint it according to them, and if you allow them, then they are ready to pay you $50 more rent. So it depends on what they want, and if you can provide those services. So all these things, maybe they need a pet friendly house, if you allow them to have their pets, then they're ready to pay you $30-50 more rent. So knowing what are the things, the service that they're asking, and providing those service, of course in an optimal way, and then you can ask for $30, $50, even $100 more rent, and that is going to be an extra income for you. So maximizing your income is the rule that most of the sophisticated investors play, because they know how they can increase this kind of investment, how they can increase the rental return by providing the service. So what service are you providing? If you already have a property, ask yourself what are the services that you provided last 1 year, and how you are planning to provide extra service this year, so you get the extra return, because the income will is proportionate to the service that you are providing. The more service you provide, the more income that you will have from the property. You manage your property manager, make sure that they are doing the right thing, so that they are also providing the service, because it's a cumulative effort. If the property manager is doing right things, they are providing this service, making sure all the things done, then over a period of time you will see that your tenant is staying longer term, and you will have a continuous form of income, because if the property is vacant also, then you are not earning any money, and that is what significantly reduce your income. The next rule is buy with numbers rather than emotions. I have seen way too many people, when they see the property, they are actually fall in love with the property and they want to buy. If you are an investor, you are always buying to earn money, to make a maximum profit from the property. So going with numbers, trying to find out how much you have to pay, how much rent that you are planning to collect, what are the service that you are going to provide, what can you do. Going with the numbers approach is better for an investor rather than emotional approach. Now it is very, very difficult. I also became emotional when I bought my first investment property and even second investment property, but then as I went along, I became sophisticated. I learned how I can become better, and this is the thing that I want you to think as well, that more and more you will become a number guy and less emotional. You will end up paying less money to buy that property. Think about for a moment, it's all about numbers. You are on a financial goal, that's why you are buying an investment property, and you need to optimize. You need to make sure that you are not going ahead too much into the price because you are not much emotional. You are only checking the numbers. If the number is not matching, pass it on. You don't want to buy that, you move to the next one. And if the number is not matching, maybe you might have to sell some of your properties because you want to go ahead and buy with a better numbered property. So buying with numbers and not with emotion is another rule that most of the sophisticated investors place. Rule number 6 is doing at least one thing you are really good at. If you want to become an investor, if you are planning to, or if you are already an investor, then you must know that one thing that you have to do is what the service that you are providing, one particular thing that you are good at. Maybe you are good at finding a properties, maybe you are good at managing your team, maybe you are good at one particular things that you have to do, and rest all you can outsource. But if you want to outsource everything and if you don't know anything that what you are doing, then probably you are not making money in real estate. Whereas I see the sophisticated investor, it's somebody who has 5, 10, 20 properties or even 50 properties. I have been seeing these people that they want to do one particular thing really good so that they make money. Maybe they can spot a property really nicely, and from there onwards they actually outsource everything else, the management and all sort of things, and they know that the property price is going to go in about 30-40% over a period of next few years. So you have to do your stuff as well. So you have to know what you are doing, and if you really do it nicely, if you do it eloquently, you will see that it is actually making money over a period of time. Remember, real estate is a long-term game. You need to learn quite a lot of things, but these are the rules that you have to play. These are the rules that you have to set in yourself, and these rules you will play. I have been seeing that the most investors, sophisticated investors, they actually plays by these rules, and as a result they make more money as compared to a novice investor or first time investor or an investor who is buying only one property or maximum 2 properties. I hope you find this video is helpful. If you like this video, consider subscribe my channel, turn the notification bell on so you get to see more videos like this, and it will also help me to reach out to more people like you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.